Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, good people. Welcome back to our channel. We're so excited to have you again. This is good news for Riverians, for Fubara, and all the suspended officers in Rivers State, as the Rivers State Administrator Ibas has confirmed possible return of Fubara, but the date we do not know. But first of all, let's dive into full details of what he had to say about during the presentation of budget, the annual budget. According to the news, State Administrator of Rivers State Vice Admiral Ibas has confirmed that the 2025 budget anticipates the return of suspended Governor Similare Fubara and other political office holders following the expiration of emergency rule in the state. Ibas made the remark during a budget defense session with the House of Representatives ad hoc committee on Rivers emergency rule on Wednesday. He disclosed that the proposed 1.48 trillion fiscal plan was deliberately structured to accommodate officials expected to resume duties once constitutional governance is restored. According to him, he says, in anticipation of the eventual return to constitutional order, the draft budget prudently retained provision for the offices and functions of suspended political actors, some of whom have already drawn unallocated resources in the first quarter and are expected to resume their duties at the expiration of the emergency period. Governor Fubara was suspended from office in March 2025 following prolonged political unrest and violent confrontation between factions loyal to Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. The crisis, which has crippled governance, led to President Bola Tinubu declaring an emergency rule in the South state. He suspended Governor Fubara and dissolved the State Executive Council. A proclamation was subsequently issued placing the state under emergency rule with Vice Admiral Ibas, retired, appointed to oversee governance pending the resolutions of the crisis. During Wednesday's hearing, Ibas also disclosed that the 2023 budget aimed to regularize expenditures made prior to the emergency declaration. He, however, lamented that efforts to ensure a full accounting were hindered by lack of cooperation from some state officials. According to him, he says, before the state of emergency declaration by His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, regrettably, some state officials withheld critical information required to ensure a more complete capture of those expenditures at the time of submission of the budget estimate. Ibas clarified that the budget was developed in line with Section 11, subsection 4 of the Constitution and formally transmitted to the National Assembly for legislative consideration. Reaffirming the federal government's commitment to stability and development in Rivers State, he noted that the budget reflects President Tinubu's directive to maintain governance structure and support grassroots entrepreneurship. According to him, he says, God willing, every Rivers citizen with a great idea, carefully thought out and well planned, will find the funding required to turn their dreams into successful venture, irrespective of tribe, ethnic or political device. That was the position of Ibas, and this is good news to Fubara's team and also to Wike's group. Now, interestingly, Rivers State residents or citizens have, showed some level of appreciation, but some are saying something different. Someone says here, one Christopher Nweke says that the cake sharing in the Rivers State is not over until they share their last budget. Another one here says Fubara must be allowed to spend his constituted period of 4 years before, as the period of emergency rule should not be deducted from his constituted right as a governor. This opinion is from a senior citizen of over 85 years. Well, I don't know. Someone, they reply him that you have to go to court for that. Another person here says, now have you finished the House of Assembly building? What has been your stewardship for these past months? So many questions coming into Ibas. But then most Nigerians were believing that they possibly, Fubara may possibly return on June 12th, based on the fact that we saw him with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu some days ago, but nobody can tell exactly why he went to see the president, if it was just a private visit or it was going to be a case of possible return by June 12th, being that that's the democracy there. Nobody can be so sure that will happen. But however, hearing this, for me, it's a good news, because it means that the president has no intention of extending, the emergency rule beyond 6 months. If the expenditure of Fubara, the deputy governor, the elected legislative officers have been captured, which means their salaries, their call it their allowances, and all of that has been captured, then there's full assurance that there will be a return of democracy back to Rivers State. It could be June 12th, it could be September 18, which will be the completion of the 6 months as prescribed by the Gazette. But however, my colleagues in the house, we just want to talk about this. Do you think this is a good news coming all the way from the budget defense meeting with the House of Assembly?
Well, that's why it's called the budget. He's looking at estimate peradventure this whole issue of suspension goes off. And it was on his own when they called him. And, being that budget is all about expected expenditure, with the hope that 6 months' time, everything is within 6 months. And he's gradually rounding up. So he has to, infuse their salaries peradventure the main fences. But from even what we are hearing, Wike's camp is just shouting, Fubara is not doing anything, Fubara is not doing anything, and if he does not do proper reconciliation, when Mahile and the other ones come, the Supreme Court verdict still stands, they will impeach him and all that. But don't forget that the agreement between Mr. President and the lawmakers, NAS, was that if eventually they are unable to find that differences and proper reconciliation take place, they will have to extend it for another 6 months, so that proper democracy will be restored. So as Sibas is just a steward. Where Belef is, if they tell him stay again for the next 6 months, why not? He just putting in the budget, peradventure the real owners of the place come back. But even me, if I was in Iba's shoes, either which way, at all, and I wish. But if they have decided not to, because if you watch Ibas, he will tell you, we are doing reconciliation. Has Ibas ever visited Fubara? He probably does not even know where Fubara lives. Has he ever even seen a married with his eyes? Probably does not even know where they're staying right now.
That's not his responsibility.
But
it wasn't captured that way. What we were told was that the National Assembly will constitute a committee that
where's the committee? What are they doing?
That's just it.
It's a case of anyhow you people want to reconcile, but if we check if people are not reconciled, because the matter is this budget, after giving it, there's really no proper accountability. You understand what I'm saying? The thing is a combine. When things are done, combine. They just say this thing has been done, but break it down. That's where the problem lies. But Fubara will break it down. This is that. I've done this, but this one they'll just combo.
But they say it's all encompassing. If you have any dream as a Riverian that you want to carry out, especially as it revolves around entrepreneurial, bring it on, and it would be funded. The issue of capital project, though I've not seen the budget capital project, I don't know, but however, it's a good one, because at least it has beef up expectation, and if they have to run in and reconcile, I think it will now be possible.